Let me put some of these mountains on a map. We are here in northwest Saudi Arabia. You can see what most people think is Mount Sinai. Paul says in Galatians 4:25, Mount Sinai is in Arabia. Also see a mountain called Haifa. Equals mother of. Haifa in the Old Arabic dictionary can be referred to as one, the edge or the side of a mountain, or the edge of anything in general. 2, corruption or injustice. 3, a desolate and wasteless land. 4, destruction. Hagar equals flight or forsaken. So right next to Mount Sinai, you have Haifa. Let us show you this mountain. Here is her face. Here is her youthful breast, maybe full of milk. Here is her pregnant body. Haifa, a mother of desolation, a desolate woman. Let us zoom in just a little bit. Some commentators say that Paul called Mount Sinai Hagar because that is the Arabic name for it. It is interesting that the mountain right next to Mount Sinai looks like a woman, but this woman in Arabic is called Haifa. So if the translation in Galatians 4:25 is right, then Haifa is Mount Sinai. Then Haifa would be Mount Sinai. But I am thinking that maybe the translation might not be all that clear. From what I understand, that in verse 25, the Greek more speaks of Hagar as a thing, a place, or a land, not a woman. So the thing Hagar, could this be Mount Hagar? I also understand in the Isaiah passage in verse 27, the word desolate one more talks about the land and not a woman. Paul in verse 24 uses the term giving birth. This mountain looks like it's about ready to give birth. Also in verse 27, Paul quotes of Isaiah 54, mentions giving birth. To move beyond the PG-13 view of this mountain, let us look up this way. Here we can see this black area. It is just below Hagar's belly and just before her legs. Could this be the pubic hair area? This also would be very close to the very top or summit of the mountain. Paul also talks in verse 25 about things lining up or being in the same rank, or one thing being behind the other. Here, Haifa and Mount Sinai line up with each other. One is behind the other. From Galatians 25 and 26, we hear about Jerusalem and Jerusalem above. From the quote in Isaiah passage, we see the word you. The you is in a singular you. And from the whole passage, the you seems to be talking about Jerusalem or Jerusalem above. With Paul mentioning Isaiah 54, he could be telling us to go read that whole chapter. So I'm hoping that a Greek scholar will look at Galatians 4:24 through 28 with this physical view of Hagar, Mount Sinai in view, and see if this makes the translation of this hard-to-translate passage any easier. What would that translation be?